You're listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. If you're a starseed, this show is for you. If you don't know if you're a starseed, we will give you a quick test to find out. Most starseeds have been sabotaged and kept from the reasons they are here in the first place. There is a major change happening, and there is so much confusion and distractions. Starseeds have been completely turned around because of it. Starseeds aren't ready. Stay tuned to find out what to do. We are married intuitives with over 20 years' experience who created the Ecosystem Approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Okay, Jason, how do people know if they're a starseed? And you said you had a quick test. Can you share that with everyone?
Okay, first let's review.
All right.
A starseed, what is a starseed?
All right.
A starseed has, and there's a lot of different definitions. Frankly, when we look, yes, we see that their essence is connected to another place.
Correct.
That's not from Earth. That's usually from outside in the solar system.
Right.
And some people say you've got alien DNA. That sounds really cool. You know,
sorta.
You know,
I'm not sure, but okay.
You know, you can drama it up or not.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Depending on who you're talking to.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
But
okay,
we know that all kidding aside, it's a real thing.
We do know.
You know, and
yes.
And so here's the test. And I was trying to make it Cosmo-like, you know.
Okay.
I'm not, you know, but it's really it's actually kind of simple and it's really
okay.
kind of transparent.
Okay.
There's a good chance that you're a starseed if you think about any of the following things, okay? Or that you're interested in it. Or if I just say it right now and you say, "Oh, I'd like to know more about that."
Right.
We're connecting to that part of you that's from another place.
Okay.
So here's some of the things. Higher consciousness, intuition, spiritual forces,
okay,
ancient aliens.
Okay.
We watch that all the time.
Right, we love that show.
It's a show, yeah. Ghosts, guides, angels,
right,
seeing dead people, the ecosystem approach, of course, that's ours. And there's all sorts of other things, using crystals, using tarot cards, Ouija boards,
right? Those
astrology.
Kind of things. Well, and by the way, though, in many ways, those are low-level things. But the bottom line is if you're interested in things that you know there's something else besides what we're being taught here, then my guess is you could be a starseed.
You know that there's more to life than just what's right in front of you.
Exactly. You know what? I have a story, if you don't mind, if I could jump in. When I first met Jason, of course, there was this huge conflict between us, and you know we'll talk about that another time. And because I called him not very nice names, and we
always go back to that. That has nothing to do with the story.
Okay. Oops. Anyway, but it's you know what? It's fun. Let me just say it that way. Anyway, Jason gave me, we met and he said, "I'd like to do a reading on you." And I said, okay.
As a profile.
As a profile. Yes,
profile.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in this profile, he told me that I was a starseed, and I had to say, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. And I truly, everyone, didn't know what it was. When he explained that the essence of who I am came from a different place, it went cha-chink for me. And I was in awe, but he had so much information in this profile that he did on me. I just pushed it aside, or knew that I was going to pick it up in a few minutes, meaning I was going to go home right after this profile that he had done. On the way home, I was on BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, and there was, of course, people and all kinds of things going on around me, but I pulled myself in, as I would have said at the time, and I started asking myself the question, if I'm a starseed, this was my first question, what am I doing here, and what is it I came here to do? And that went cha-chink again. And I thought, oh, okay, this is important, because I had gotten information, excuse the English, but I had received different information in my lifetime about certain things that were astral or beyond me, that kind of thing. And some of the things I knew were right immediately, and other things I knew were not. And I didn't realize that was my personal intuition talking to me and telling me this is right and this is wrong. I didn't know those things. So one of the things that I see is that when people find out that they are a starseed, one of the very first things that they want to do is they want to go find out about the place where they're from, and they want to
know about the traits
of people,
right.
And I admit I wanted to know those things, but those were not my first questions. Go ahead.
So imagine, and for the audience, we're going to do this a little bit differently today.
Yeah.
This is sort of like what we do in the morning.
Right. We sit and we talk back and forth.
Except we don't look this way. It's, the hair
oh, no.
The hair is all over the place. And
yes.
It's usually,
and there's a coffee cup in my hand.
Yeah, the first cup of coffee.
Yes.
So, but we talk about this stuff.
Right.
And we just keep going. And it's a really interesting conversation. I've always thought, boy, the audience would love to hear this kind of conversation.
Right. I need a new robe, dear.
Yeah.
If we're going to do that. I'm sorry, that's kidding aside. So,
so it's always been a frustration to me, and it's one of the reasons that I haven't talked about Starseeds more in these shows, in what we do with the ecosystem approach.
Right.
Because people, the first place they want to go is the place.
Is outside of themselves, as opposed to inside.
Yes, they want to go. They want to know more about the place. It trivializes it. It makes
it really does.
It makes it like trivia, and then they want to know about the traits. Now, so imagine if we went to a foreign country, and people came up to us and say, "Oh, tell us about all Americans." I mean, it just
it's true.
It would be kind of silly, and and for us to be considered the authority on what all Americans think, and frankly, this always happens to me. Why do men do that? Tell me why men do that.
Right? And I've seen and heard him go, I don't know. That kind of thing. Anyway,
I usually give it's an answer that because of our intuition, but
right.
So we're just going to keep talking about this, and we're going to keep going, and we'll do our key points, but they may not link up with what we're talking about.
Exactly. But Jason, why aren't Starseeds ready? That's what we said in the beginning. Why aren't they ready?
Here's the point.
Okay.
When you're a Starseed, you were sent here with a mission. You were sent here to do something important.
I'm going to jump in and say one of the things that Jason and I discovered is that we're here to help people with information. That's part of what we as Starseeds came here to do.
It's not how to catch the next bus. It's the information about who they are and where they're going.
Yes, and why they're here.
The ecosystem approach is so relevant for the Age of Aquarius, and we're going to be talking about that.
Right.
But if you're a starseed, and I've kind of changed my thinking a little bit, and I want to admit this to the audience right now.
Okay.
We've kind of backed away from talking about starseeds because people go to the place
distracted. They get distracted.
And then they want to know about the traits, like it's sort of like astrology,
Right. Yes.
like a pickup line at the bar. Oh, what's your sign? What's your sign? Oh, we're compatible. That's
Yeah. Oh, far out, man.
You want to go home with me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, but the truth is that if you're a starseed, there's abilities and capabilities and information within you, and the fact that you came here with a mission.
Yes.
If you want fulfillment in life, if you want happiness in your life, you need to uncover what that purpose is.
And I was just going to jump in and say, if it hadn't been for the ecosystem approach, by the way, that conversation that Jason and I had when he was doing my profile, if I had just blown it off and looked in different directions, the ecosystem approach wouldn't be what it is today. And I have to say that I love the fact that he and I collaborated in such an amazing way to help everyone realize uncovering the negative energy that's on top of you, that's covering you up, that's holding that negative part of your life hostage. And by the way, I use that word a lot. Then the ecosystem approach wouldn't have any value. But I guarantee you, I know firsthand that the ecosystem approach, it not only works, but there's this awakening that happens when you start using it that goes right along with people being a starseed. And that is huge.
Well, it is. And we're just starting after 20 years, over
right?
20 years.
Yes.
Now, we're just starting to have the fruits of the what we call refined intuition, evolved consciousness.
Yes.
And we're taking it in places and for healing for ourselves.
Yes.
We did that aging show the other day about, you're just turned 70. We're so much better now than we were 20 years ago. We don't want to go back 20 years in the past and be younger, because it brought so much baggage.
It did.
And so we're going to talk about that going forward. So
okay. So Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
There is an extreme likelihood, if that you are listening now to our show or are interested in these topics, that you're a starseed. In fact, if you didn't switch the channels already, I guarantee you, if you're with us right now, you're a starseed.
Okay.
Most starseeds, when they find out, focus on the wrong things, where they're from and traits of their type.
Correct.
That's not helpful.
Okay.
Starseeds need to go inward and overcome the trauma of their emotional story and uncover
their purpose.
That's why we do clearing. It's an uncovering process.
Correct.
And the ecosystem approach shows you how to heal the mark and uncover your unique purpose. And we're going to talk about the mark in the next segment.
Okay. In the next segment, we're going to continue our discussion about going from the Age of Pisces to the Age of Aquarius. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to continue our discussion about going from the Age of Pisces to the Age of Aquarius. We are married intuitives with over 20 years' experience who created the Ecosystem Approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Jason, let's continue our conversation about the changes in these different astrology ages.
And I want to go there in just a minute, but there's something really important that I don't want to skip over.
Okay.
It's the mark. We see it. It's so clear. We both have it.
Yes.
That's pretty dramatic. But what we see is that on Earth today, starseeds were sent here to Earth because I called it a competition. That's probably down soft pedaling a little bit. It's more like a war.
Yes, it is.
And there's an intention, and I'm just going to call it dark energy. I use that term a lot, to enslave Earth. Yes. Enslave the population of Earth for the benefit of of extraterrestrials that are not in our favor.
Exactly. And in all of that, that enslavement that you're talking about, it places a mark on those of us that are starseeds, and
well, I would say it's a tactic.
Yes.
By all means.
It's a tactic
that the dark has used.
Yes.
To win.
Yes.
To win the war.
Yeah.
And these starseeds have been sent here with purpose.
So the Earth will evolve. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah, it's sort of. I'm going to use it in more warlike terms.
Okay, of course.
These are our allies.
Yes,
that have come
very
here
much
to make sure that the Earth doesn't fall into enslavement.
Correct.
But to actually evolve.
Right.
Because if the Earth evolves, then the whole universe will evolve in a positive way.
In a very positive way, and that I have to say.
That gives you context.
It does, and it's the intention of why we're here.
Yes.
Is to really to know that when you're a starseed, you're connected to something much bigger than what you've been told.
So, but here's where it goes off. Okay.
Okay.
And this has happened for both of us.
Okay.
You know, we get bogged down in the traumas and struggles of life. Now, some of those are not minor by any means. Sexual abuse, emotional abuse,
correct,
abandonment, being witness to horrific happenings
right.
As a child. All these things are the mark that
drug and alcohol abuse. I want to put that in there.
You know, all these things that
food addictions.
That have happened to people.
Yes.
Or their parents that
they have passed that down. We call that lineage.
Children, you know, and there's one part that's even more insidious, that's even more difficult,
which is
when your life seems normal.
In those things,
we have had clients tell us, you know, I had a normal upbringing. I had a middle class upbringing. I had resources. You know, nothing happened to me.
By the way, when somebody says that to me, the bells and whistles go off and go, okay, here we go.
I'm bringing it up now because people have been, some of the people that have been abused the most with the mark or with this negative energy that has sought to take them out of the running.
Yes. Or stop them from helping the evolution of Earth.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, in other words, it has kept them in nitty-gritty dealing with the traumas of life.
And I was going to say the daily grind of life is what I was going to say.
So when we talk about your life story, we call it emotional life story, and say, okay, what happened to you? You know, what were you abandoned? Were you sexually abused? Were you raped? You had an alcoholic parent, a drug addicted parent. Were you abandoned? All those things are pretty horrific, and people struggle with those for the rest of their life. And if you're a starseed, for the most part, you're not dealing with what your purpose is or what you're supposed to do while you're here. You're just trying to keep your head above water.
Exactly. And by the way, I need to say this. What Jason's talking about here doesn't matter what your social status is or your financial status is. Everybody that's a starseed, what we see is they have a mark. And one of the things that we know is that the ecosystem approach can really help you with that.
We use the word mark, but the truth is it's what therapists make a lot of money from. Because people have to deal with this stuff, and frankly, it hasn't been dealt with very well.
No.
And that's why we developed the ecosystem approach, so you can start healing those things. And if you think you had a normal childhood, you know, some of the darkest energy that we've encountered have been people who have, by all objective means, have had a normal childhood. Right. You know, they didn't have any problems with resources. Right. They didn't have any abuse. They didn't have this or that. But the negative energy attached to them has been horrific.
Correct.
And among the most difficult. So you take that.
Okay.
And that's where it's starting place. So of course, when people say that, I'm a starseed, they don't want to deal with that stuff.
Right. And
no. and there's a natural resistance to that because this dark energy that's been basically dumped on the starseeds of the world.
Correct.
It's almost like as you come in as a starseed, you're identified, and that dark energy is attracted to you
right away,
and it keeps you from doing what you came here to do.
Exactly.
So, and that's why we developed the ecosystem approach, because
Correct.
it really it lays your emotional story out. We're still working on our emotional story after 21 years. It's a lot.
It's not only a lot, but it's also, first off, it's one of the most fascinating journeys I've ever been on. We'll say it that way. And the other part of that is that when you start to see, after you start using the ecosystem approach and you start clearing away the layers and layers and layers of negative energy, you see what's underneath. And I have to tell you, I have never, in all of my time and working in all of this, I have never seen someone that has uncovered the negative energy about themselves that's connected to their story. I've never seen it not be better after using the ecosystem approach.
In other words, people are afraid that if I uncovered this stuff, it won't be what I want. In fact, that's the allure of programming.
Well, I was going to say, leave well enough alone.
Yes, programming says, oh, don't even go there.
Yes, no.
You use your ego to determine what your objectives are, and do a hard charging and go for it.
Right.
And it's not possible.
Right.
The dark loves that approach because you're not going to do your starseed purpose.
So let's get back to the other part of this subject or the show today. Let's talk about the dark side of Aquarius.
Well, we want to talk about the contrast. Okay. The Age of Aquarius is an astrological age.
Yes.
That's happening now.
Yes.
Now, astrologers don't agree about when it actually started. It's about 2,500 years. So 2,500, it's a long time.
Right.
And before the Age of Aquarius was the Age of Pisces. And we've been transitioning for many, many, many years.
Correct.
So what we should describe what the Age of Aquarius is, and that's, it's very Aquarian-like.
Yes.
If you understand your astrology, refer back to Aquarian. But
if you don't have Aquarius in your astrology, it doesn't mean you don't belong. That isn't what it means at all.
It has nothing to do with what your personal astrology.
That's right.
Yes. And the truth is that this is energy potential. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't force us to act a certain way.
Exactly.
It just creates an incentive
and opportunities.
Yes, an attraction to do this.
Yes.
So it's about individual empowerment, being more democratic, more open to technology and its possibilities.
Yeah.
It is the ruler of the collective, and I want to talk about that.
Okay.
And cooperation and brotherhood and sisterhood, not gender specific. It loves intellectual freedom and personal freedom.
Okay.
And it's kind of ironic because trying to put the collective, on one hand, working collectively
with everyone,
with a big group, with a country, with a world, versus individual freedom. Today we can't resolve those two. Those two just Can
I say this? And the reason that is because so many essences, souls, are stuck in the Piscean age. They're stuck there.
And that's true. And the fact that because of all this trauma that's been dumped on them, the mark, they can't evolve to a place of seeing it from a higher perspective.
Yeah.
They're stuck in the ditch, in the trenches.
But if you use the ecosystem approach, you can.
But it's not a quick fix.
No,
it doesn't happen overnight.
No.
And it takes a while.
But it's fun.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have a lot of stuff. So let's talk about the dark side of Pisces.
Okay.
Here's the difference. Actually, let's just talk about the difference.
Okay.
The difference is that in Pisces, it's about believing in something outside of yourself.
Correct.
In the Age of Aquarius, it's about your personal empowerment and believing in yourself.
Right.
So instead of, if you're a starseed and you came here during the Piscean age, you might have said, okay, I don't have to do my mission because I can believe in the Pope, or I can believe in this leader, or I can believe in this king or whatever, and everything will be fine. No, not anymore.
And the biggest one that's happening right now, I cannot resist, is that people are believing that Trump is their savior.
Yes, I mean it's so obviously not the case, and we could do a whole show about that. But I don't want
don't
to
get me started.
bogged down about that.
Right.
We can't tell who to believe in or not anymore.
Right.
But what the Age of Aquarius is going to help us do is go inward.
Correct.
To find our own power, our own ability to know truth and to distinguish.
Yes, exactly. So are we ready for key points?
Yeah, let's do some key points, and we'll keep talking about
All right.
this.
Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
In order to be relevant in the Age of Aquarius, you have to develop your inner resources.
Really an important point, everyone.
In the Age of Pisces, you could ignore those inner resources and just trust that your leaders would show up in a way that is positive for you.
Okay.
Starseeds have been targeted and marked with trauma and negative energy, which has kept them from their purpose.
Okay.
And the ecosystem approach was made for starseeds and shows you how to overcome the mark and connect with your purpose.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about what you need to do to be ready as a starseed and why you should be ready. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about what you need to do to be ready as a starseed and why you should be ready. We are married intuitives with over 20 years experience who created the ecosystem approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. So, Jason, let's talk about why you should be ready as a starseed.
You know, visions, communications, dealing with strange phenomena. And the most important is getting the information you need to help move the world forward based on your purpose, based on the reason you were sent here. And that is deeply, deeply satisfying and life-affirming.
Okay.
Now, if it doesn't mean that you have to quit your job now and say, okay, I'm going to figure it out and go do my purpose. No. Chances are you can do it where you are right now. And I know after this airs, some of our clients are going to come to me and say, Jason, what's my purpose? You know, what's my Starseed part?
Yeah.
And this is for you to uncover. Chances are you're really close to it already. You know, when we first met, you were doing purchasing. That was nothing to do with your purpose, you know, but now, you know, we've been doing it. Most people are very close to doing it. Okay. So if you're doing anything in the world, chances are you can incorporate your purpose in how that happens.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that more in another time, perhaps. But
okay.
Here's the other thing that I didn't get to in the last thing. I think it's really important.
Okay.
The big vision in the Age of Aquarius is the use of the collective. We see that, for example, climate change isn't going to happen with individual action or even small groups of action. It has to be a collective action.
Something I've always known.
And the problem is, and I see this especially in the Age of Aquarius, this is why you should, this is probably the most important should, okay? Is that we're collectively not evolved enough to take collective action in any sort of way that's meaningful or hopeful. We're too low level.
Yeah.
We're so bitter and angry and
distracted,
jealous and greedy. You know, if you get something over here, it's going to take away from me over here. Right. And we don't see the big picture. We don't see our how the collective will give us our mutual benefit.
Okay.
You know, here's the other thing that's really exciting to me, and be prepared. So because if this really excites you, if there's something about this, you get that cha-chink.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to tell you how to go to our website and sign up for a free section right away because you want to be connected to us and start listening to our shows and getting our weekly newsletter.
Correct.
You know, to make this become a reality for you.
Correct.
In earthly terms, and you were saying this earlier to me this morning.
Okay.
You know, Patricia just turned 70. I'm blaming her. You know, I'm actually like 9 months younger, but I'm getting there. And people say, well, don't you wish you had started sooner? Well, the truth is that we had to have all this gunk so that we would know that we can get rid of the gunk, the traumas and the life difficulties.
Correct.
And we've been working for this last 21 years on figuring out how to get rid of that with the clearing, with the ecosystem approach. And by the way, it sounds simple on a lot of respects, but it has so much depth.
Yes.
It has it is easy to start, but it also will take you far, far, far in terms of evolution. And one of my frustrations is that these other programs that I see, they're too superficial to be of any good as a starseed, because you want to get to your purpose and you're not getting there.
No.
Just clearing negative energy, for example, it has to be specific. But that's
we'll get back to that. And yeah.
But I want to suggest to you take the long view, and we're going to do this. We haven't talked about this. We'll do this tomorrow morning.
Okay.
But we're not going to stop.
No.
When we die.
No.
And we have this understanding of our own consciousness because we've been clearing away the negative stuff that our essence keeps going. We know that.
That's true.
Everlasting life, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And the consciousness that we build up even right now is so much greater than it was 21 years ago.
Exactly.
That we're not going to stop.
Yeah.
We're going to do our purpose even after we die, and then when we come back, it won't take much for us to just
I know that. Yes.
And here we go again.
Yes.
And start at a much younger age.
Right.
And the thing is that the mark and the trauma that we talked about that's been targeted for starseeds,
correct,
didn't just happen in this lifetime. It's been happening for lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes.
Exactly.
So if you take a long view, if this really excites you and say, oh my gosh,
right,
I want some of that. I want to be part of that.
Right.
Go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for a free section. Do it right now. It's really, really important. Listen to our show every week. Get our weekly newsletter. Start doing the clearing.
Okay.
And start doing the ecosystem approach.
I love that. So I'm going to ask the question a little bit different than I asked a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Jason, how does someone get ready as a starseed to be part of the collective and be part of
the Age of Aquarius?
The Age of Aquarius.
Well, okay, it's simple to get started. I'm gonna make it really black and white and overly simple.
Okay.
And that's why we do this weekly show. That's it's 45 minutes because there's so much information, and we approach it from all these different ways, and we're always trying to be practical because
practical is the way to go.
If you do start doing your starseed perfect, it's not that you won't. Your kids are going to lose you and you're going to be up in the ceiling all the time. You're going to be able to be a better parent. You're going to be able to be a better employee. You're going to be a better partner.
Exactly. It's why we come. It's one of the reasons we come. By the way, we don't come here for one thing. And when you're a starseed, there's even better, more amazing things that you come here for. And the practical things, absolutely. But it's so important that you understand that there's things that you need to do in order to be the starseed that you came here to be.
So simply put, start clearing the energies that are in your way.
Okay.
You can't pay the rent this month. Clear the fact that you can't pay the rent this month.
Right.
Clear the veils and illusions so you can see how you could get by until next month, and then clear the veils and illusions so you can see how you can have more money so you can pay it every month.
And have money at the end of the month.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And we talk about this. It's not that simple, but use your Enneagram type to know how to clear. The
Correct.
Enneagram is something we use as a tool. It's a very important tool. But again, when we talk about it, people just go and study the Enneagram. No, it's a tool to help you with your starseed purpose. Okay.
Exactly. Okay.
Start relating everything in your life to your emotional story.
Let's go. Okay. I'm sorry. I jumped in.
So you want examples?
I do.
I had a torn meniscus on my knee the other day.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I had surgery and it was fixed, but it was a metaphor for I'm trying to move forward, and there's energies in my way that are keeping me. So I got the message, it was a message,
Right.
and I related it to my personal story. And going forward is really hard for me. It's part of my mark, part of what was blocking me personally.
Exactly.
And so we cleared that. You had a heart valve replacement,
Right.
and we looked at that was an imbalance of giving and receiving.
Yes.
That was part of your emotional story.
Correct.
We related everything. If you can't, if you have money problems, how is that part of your emotional stories? If you have job issues,
health problems,
relationship issues, you've been
Exactly.
divorced multiple times, how is that part of your emotional story?
correct.
And you relate it, and then you clear it.
Yes.
It's very, very powerful.
And the outcome, at first you're thinking, there's nothing happening here. Give yourself a moment or two or a couple of days. You'll see.
So,
it's pretty amazing.
And so just keep going. Shall we do key points?
Yes. Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Live a productive life by removing traumas that distract you from purpose and meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Develop the refined intuition and evolved consciousness that you were meant to have and use it daily.
Yes.
Use the ecosystem approach to heal the mark and be free to pursue your starseed purpose for life.
For true life satisfaction. Yes.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you the tools and the deep knowing to live as a starseed in this earthly life.
Okay. Now, do we have time to teach for people to for that, or should we just
let's do half of it?
Okay, go ahead.
So the clearing is very simple. You don't have to. You can stand, sit, walk, lay down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be in a reverent position. It works whether you feel it working or not.
Correct.
And it's basically when we say "and to eliminate," in your mind's eye, in your imagination, just gather up what we say to eliminate: barriers, veils, and illusions, specific emotions, and then blow them into the processor. And there's a picture of the processor right
here's
here.
a picture of the processor. Here we go. Right here.
If you don't use that, use the trash can. If you go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org, and you sign up for a free section, there's a picture there that you can download and cut out and print out and have it for your table.
Okay.
So
all right. Well, and then we'll do the rest of it when we come back in the next section. So stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to get you started clearing the mark and to have some perspective as a starseed to live the life you were intended to have here on Earth. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to get you started clearing the mark and have perspective as a starseed to live the life you were intended to have here on Earth. This is so exciting to me. So, Jason, take it away.
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the barriers so I can feel the cha-chink about being a starseed.
I love
it. Think about it, after the show, just think about, am I a starseed? And you get that little cha-chink.
Ooh, yeah.
It might be a little, little itch here, back of your head,
Take a breath, everybody.
Yes. Blow it into the processor.
And if you don't see the processor or don't have one, bottom line is use a garbage can. It works. So moving right along, and to eliminate the barrier so I can see as a starseed, I need to get ready by evolving and improving my life by using the ecosystem approach to get there. Take a breath, nice and easy, and blow it out.
And to eliminate any intense feelings of worry, anxiety, and frenzy that I have that is blocking my evolution.
Take a breath, easy. And to eliminate any feelings of fear and hurt and shame that I have that keeps me from, this is really important, my individual power in the world that I use from the essence of who I am. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can know that my evolution and uncovering my purpose is really, really, really important, especially as a starseed. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see how the Age of Aquarius is affecting my life and how I need to be ready starting right now. Take a breath.
and to eliminate any feelings of fear and terror from my life that holds me back and distracts me from my purpose.
Yes.
That's part of my mark. That's part of my trauma. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can see that I need evolved consciousness to live in the world in the future as well. Take a breath.
By the way, we use the word evolved consciousness and refined intuition because the words, and I just came up with those things. Intuition and consciousness, unfortunately, the way they've been defining the word are so diluted and nondescript that they don't.
They've also been discounted.
They've also been discounted, but they don't work well enough for you to do what you need to do as a starseed.
Correct.
So, and to eliminate
any fear and terror I have in my life that holds me back. And distracts me from my purpose. Is that the one?
Yeah.
All right, that works.
Yeah.
Take a breath.
And to eliminate the barriers, so I can see that I need evolved consciousness to live in the world and in the future.
Yes,
take a breath.
We did that one as well.
Okay.
And to eliminate any intense anger I have at my life and in my life that blocks me and distracts me. By the way, I don't know a starseed that isn't angry.
Yes.
Take a breath.
And to eliminate any resistance I have to clearing constantly, consistently, and specifically for my evolution.
Correct.
To get to where I need to be.
Correct.
Take a breath.
Take a breath. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see true fulfillment comes from doing my starseed purpose. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the barrier so I can clear the energy that makes me sick, bitter, and unhappy in my life.
Take a breath.
Yes.
Nice. And to eliminate any numbness or blocks I have to the mark in my life and know that so I can know that it can be cleared. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the barrier so I can see that if I ignore my starseed purpose, it will hurt me for the rest of my life.
Take a breath. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see specifically the way I'm distracted from my purpose, not only today, but about yesterday and the fear of that tomorrow. Take a breath. Now, we didn't talk about activating life force, mostly because of time. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to activate life force. Life force is the most powerful energy that we have access to. And those of us that are starseeds, this is an energy that we need to use on a regular, constant, consistent, and specific way. It's really, really, really important. What we're going to do is we're going to call upon it. We're going to ask it to come in through the top of our head, go all the way down our body to the tips of our toes. We're going to stop it right there. And in stopping it, we're going to ask it to turn around and clear away any negative energies that are hanging around, because negative energies or dark energies, they're everywhere. Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy so I can use life force energy for all that I need, want, desire, and deserve now and in the future. I cannot change my past, but I can change how I feel about it by using life force energy. Take a breath. Pull it in. Let it go all the way to the tips. Turn it around and blow out any negative energy left over.
And to activate life force so I can have hope for a better future by seeing my starseed roots and uncovering my purpose. Take a breath.
And to activate life force so I can trust and understand who I am at the deepest level and uncover my purpose for life meaning. Nice and easy. Pull it in. That's life force right doing its purpose.
And to activate life force so I can decide to clear my way to my purpose for my own evolved consciousness.
Oh, I love that one. Take a breath. And last one for today. And to activate life force so I can use life force to be happy and healthy and have the awareness and clarity and objectivity and creativity, happiness and hope that I can be the starseed that I came here to be, starting right now. Take a breath and blow it out. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
An energy approach to business.
Oh.
Now, one of the things that we didn't talk about today that is a big part of what the ecosystem approach is the practical nature of it. This isn't about being lofty and traveling to other planets and
or airy-fairy,
yes,
that kind of
it's
stuff.
About
sure.
How can I apply this to my life today? And many people decide to be an entrepreneur to apply their life purpose in the world, because they have control over it.
Okay.
And this entrepreneurial, but you have to know how to take an energy approach to business, and we're going to start to talk about that.
Okay.
And give you some really good information.
Okay. So Jason, what can I do, and what can the audience do to start using the ecosystem approach today?
So did you feel that cha-chink? Did you feel it? I know if you're listening, if you stayed with me all this way, if you stayed with us all this time, you're a starseed.
Yeah. I
guarantee it. And instead of trying to go outside of yourself and find someone who'll tell you what kind of starseed you are and what your traits are, the way to really understand that is that information's already inside of you.
So I recommend come join us.
Yes. Start clearing every single week. Listen to our show every week. Go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. Sign up for our free newsletter. This is all free. This isn't going to cost you anything, and you're going to start to see, okay, there's something here. Yeah, I can do this.
Good.
And so do that right now. And so if you listen every week, sign up for our newsletter, theecosystemapproach.org, and if you want, mosey on over to Facebook.
There you go.
Go to our Facebook page. That's where our videos are.
And you can see past shows.
Yes. Theecosystemapproach.org is there.
Okay.
And like us if you're there, please. I appreciate that. I always appreciate those likes.
Okay. So we'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.